morning. This is Zoe Singleton.
And this is your announcer, Sports Hire. We have a great day today. It's the Memorial Day Parade 2019, and we are about to set things off today. And should be an exciting event.
Right now we have the Lawrence Township Police Department starting things off right.
Police Department today will be honoring all the guards in their facility. Next up, we have the soldiers. The Army, the U.S. Army.
And the Grand Marshal.
Grand Marshal and a nice Mercedes. Next we have we have Scottish music men playing
Drums,
drums
bagpipes.
and bagpipes. Very, very interesting. They come very interesting scent of music they have, I would say. Next up is the Army tumbler thing. Thank all of these Army men for their service in the many wars.
Right now we have a retired U.S. Navy coming in with a Buick. Nice, Navigator.
Navigator Buick. Followed by the Buick, we have the Buick Navy. We have veterans in a Lincoln. The car ran by McConaughey. Next up, we have the
American Legion.
American Legion veterans.
Mercer County Commander.
The commander, and they run many events. Recently, they held an event in Atlantic City for the homeless people. And next up, we have a veteran in a black car, a black BMW, very nice looking.
Okay, and coming up, we have the American Legion, and this Legion has veterans of all generations, veterans from World War II, Vietnam, and a part of the American Legion, we have the American Legion Post, the Lady Auxiliary, and they have a lot of social and community events. They work with the Board of Ed, Police Department, Boy and Girl Scouts, and they really take care of their veterans all from over the United States.
And thank you. And next up we have
So this is Post 414, and they're also a part of the American Legion.
That is true. Zoe, what do you like most about this Memorial Day parade?
Well, every year I love to see the Scottish people playing their music. I really like the bagpipes. And I like that I learned a lot about the American Legion this year. I think what they do for the community is really great. And it's really interesting.
Yeah. I like the most part is that you get to meet many organizations within Lawrence and to see how many people are willing to contribute to society.
Yeah, and there's a lot of veterans in Lawrence. Just now we saw the veteran of foreign wars, so I thought that was really interesting.
Yep. Right now we have a veteran in a nice big Jeep. A lot of veterans coming out today. It's beautiful. Another American Legion car, which is, I'd say Hyundai. Very nice. We thank everyone for their service, for doing the thing that many people could not do.
Yes, I'm so grateful for our veterans.
Again, these guys fought in World War II, and they fought in Desert Storm, Korea War, and Vietnam. You name it, they've been in.
Yeah, they have veterans from every war that's been in every generation, every decade. So there's a lot of diversity within the generations that we're seeing today.
A couple of Army little trucks here. All part of the U.S. Army. A couple of them over here. And another thing is, I love the fact that, the clubs here in Lawrence actually come out to support the veterans today. So that, I like how the small organizations within Lawrence comes out to support this team. It's very wonderful.
Drums, trumpets, tubas, saxophones, and more.
And there we have the Mayor Chris Bobin here today. So it's always nice to see the mayor. And next up we have Lawrence Police Department throwing out whatever this is. What do they, wind is
The police unity tour's motto is "We ride for those who died." So there's definitely a lot of.
Next up, we have the Lawrence Historical Society. What a wonderful they are! And a nice little car remembering the veterans. So always in this. Up we have Nam, and they're throwing out candy.
So Nam is National American Miss. So right now we're seeing New Jersey's royalty. So that's definitely interesting for girls who are interested.
And next up we have Lawrence Township of Office on Aging. So the Lawrence Senior Center partying there. And next up we have Buick, maybe? Honoring some more veterans today.
Alright, so coming up we have the Cub Scouts, and this is a really good program for the youth. They have a lot of activities such as hikes, whittling, camping, and they actually just came back from a trip in Normandy for the 75th anniversary of D-Days. And the Cub Scouts group has a lot of groups for different ages. They have the lions, tigers, and bears, which ranges from ages. Okay, and we also have the Girl Scouts, the Lawrence, Ewing, and Trenton Girl Scouts, and right now we have cadets and seniors walking, and they do a lot of community service at animal shelters and home front food trucks.
Next up we have the Ben Franklin swimming. If people swim for a small payment, you can swim here. Jeff Virgo, manager Kyle Jorgensen, and James Keene are the things. And we would like to give a nice shout out to Matt DeMott, Ron Morris, Justin Nab.
There you go, some more. We love beer.
Alright, and thank out for everyone here today. So, and now, next up we got the Philadelphia Industry.
Okay, coming up we have Troop 27, the Lawrence, New Jersey Central Council for Boy Scouts, and this Boy Scout group does a lot of volunteer work at the Presbyterian Church, St. Anne Church, Nature Center, recruiting young boys between the ages of 11 and 17.
And next up we have the Slackwood Pedestrian Church nearby here. Very nice church. It's right off the coast of near Burlington, so very nice to see that. All right, I can hear it. And then we have a nice little clown here. It kind of resembles Ronald McDonald. Got it. And followed by this thing, we got the Lawrence Lacrosse Club. Always nice to see them. It's grades starting from ages 7 to 10 years old, and they run a very nice club. Many of the members of the lacrosse team were part of this club, so always a wonderful. Followed by the Lawrence Lacrosse Club, we got our very own LHS Red Scare LHS Marching Band.
And the Color Guards.
And the Color Guards here today, and what a wonderful job they're doing today. They had an excellent season so far, and as you can see, they have the brightly colored uniforms. Always wonderful to see our very own Red Scare here today. So always cool to see them. We missed them all year, and it's great to see them come back for this parade.
They're very talented and coordinated.
I would like to give a shout out to Tristan Pursley, Chris Cotton, and Gavin Biddle, who will all be graduating this year. They did an excellent job these past 4 years, so I want to give a great congratulations to my good friends there today.
LHS TV team.
And that was Clifford Williams, our vice president of the Lawrence High School. It's always great to see Mr. Clifford Williams here today. I'm not sure here. I think we've got a couple audience members here. So far, what I've loved today so far, very wonderful to see. And next up, we got the Ben Franklin School here today. Ben Franklin Elementary School. It's always nice to see our little youngsters coming out to support the veterans today.
We have kids walking from grades K to 3.
Preschool? Oh,
Preschool.
Well, not preschool. Never mind. K to 3 grade. And followed by them, we got the Lawrenceville Elementary School. Very nice to see them, a little green area there. Followed by them, we have the Aldridge Park School. So they are here today as well.
And they just had a field day, so.
Everyone is tuckered out after that beautiful field day they had.
And we also have Latinos Unidos at Aldrich Park School, so.
Very nice to see, honoring the diversity here, and Lawrence again, very diverse area, so always nice to see the diversity here. And we got more candy. Here's strawberries. Okay.
Coming up, we have Slackwood Elementary School, which is right down the street. And we see a lot of patriotism, a lot of red, white, and blue.
And next up we have the Ben Huffy, I believe school.
And we also have Rider University.
Rider University. Many seniors will be attending there, so always good to see them come out and support the squad today. trying to find this one.
Coming up, we have contractors that are from Hackensack and Wayne, New Jersey. So a little up north, but if you need a contractor, then A Punta Seca is your person.
Beautiful squad for them.
But attached to it, we have Modified Outlaw Microstraps.
Outlaws. And a nice little contract thing.
And number 71 is the 2017 champion. And number 91 is the 2018 champion.
And number 91 is our very own
Mr. Irvin.
Mr. Irvin. Always beautiful to see him today, and he runs our organization along with myself, LTPS TV. Morris St. Lawrence is up next.
Following Morris Hall, we have Lawrence Road Fire Company, and we have the Command coming up first, followed by a truck and a huge
Fire truck.
Rescue 22.
Support by that. Lawrence Road.
Following the fire trucks, we have emergency medical services, an ambulance, and a fire truck from Slackwood.
That's where most of the fire trucks are located. Slackwood Elementary. Multiple fire trucks. Truck number 21, fire truck number 21 from Slackwood again, also here to come out and support the squad today.
Okay, following this fire truck, there's another one, and it's called Fire Rescue, and I've never seen this type of fire truck before, but
It's a quite unique one.
a quite unique one, and they get the job done.
Anything to get the job done. There's a fire truck coming up in a boat for me. So a boat is here.
And the Lawrenceville Fire Company has been established since 1915.
1915. So they've been here for quite a century now. So very nice to see them.
So now this fire truck coming up is for District 3. This is number 23, so we've seen 21, 22, 23, but this specific truck is for District 3.
23. Great number. Very great number, 23. After Michael Jordan, now worn by the
And also
Broncos.
the year I graduate.
Oh, and the year you graduate. So 23 has important significance.
Born significance.
World significance. And national significance. As again worn by the great Jordan and LeBron. Rescue truck number 10. Another
Following the fire trucks, we have the Department of Public Works, and they do so much for our community, so I'm really grateful for them.
And followed by them is another medical truck. So to see them, and followed by that we have the Ford, and it appears after this Ford that may wrap up our part of the Memorial Day parade. After we get a couple more trucks here. They will head over to, I believe, farther to Ryder. They will have a service thing going on
At Veterans Park.
Veterans Park. Yeah, it's gonna happen over there. The time of this recording, it's gonna happen. So this is like probably 2 weeks. So hello to the future. Hello to the future. I bet you know who's playing in the finals. I hope it's not the Raptors. All right. Anyways, that takes us to the Ford police truck, I think. Yeah,
Undercover cop car.
Undercover cop car. So
Yeah.
always good to see these guys undercover. Never know when they'll be lurking around. So criminals beware. That should do it, I think. I mean,
Yep.
Yep. That
That concludes the
That concludes our 2019 Memorial Day Parade.
Day Parade.
It's been an honor working here, and again, I would like to mention. Oh, we also have our very own Sam, the cameraman right here. So always good to see him. Anyways, that concludes our broadcast for the day, and I would like to acknowledge Zoe Singleton, who again is my co-announcer with me today. She will be graduating this year, so she's done with me for about for every year I've done this. So she announced with me freshman year, and she filmed this thing sophomore year. So it's been an honor working with her these past few years as a co-announcer, and of course as my cameraman for many of the games that you saw. So I would like to acknowledge that it's been an honor working with you, Zoe.
It's been an honor working with you as well.
You will definitely be missed, and we hope you do great things at Temple and great things in your career, whatever you want to pursue. But we hope you do very well. And on my behalf and the rest of the DMC organization, we wish you good luck, and we will miss you.
Thanks.
And that will conclude our broadcast today. Again, I'm Sabor Taher.
And I'm Zoe Singleton.
And thank you for watching today's broadcast.
Mayor Bobbitt, Township Council members, county freeholders, Mr. Haggerty, distinguished guests, especially Mr. Tim McGargley, Army Sergeant from 1970 to 76, and a Vietnam veteran, served in country from 70 to 71. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Lawrence Township's Memorial Day observance on this 25th day of May, 2019. 50 years ago, 1969, our country was in conflict. Hundreds of thousands of young Americans were fighting the Vietnam War, but there was also a powerful anti-war movement growing at home. Sadly, and too often, the anger of the anti-war movement was directed at military men and women when they returned home. Sometimes we still feel that lingering rift today. And few would argue the Vietnam veterans did not receive the thanks for the service they were due. There's a wall in Washington, D.C. commemorating those who died in Vietnam War. Many know it simply as the wall. Try as we might, we cannot go back in time and fix the errors of the past. All we can do now is what was done and move forward. In preparing for today's ceremony, I came across a poem I think summarizes this feeling pretty well. No Words by Judy Paul. So just how do we begin to express anything close to the feelings, those emotions felt so strongly toward all those who sacrificed for those who are blessedly still here with us, and those precious ones whose names are etched forever, gray against black? How do we hope to begin giving the fitting gratitude due these most righteous heroes? What can possibly compensate for the profound loss? There is nothing. There are no words. Perhaps this will be a start. Can it possibly ever be enough? Maybe it is just one voice, but soon to be joined by an army of voices in a chorus, overpoweringly loud. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Although we honor all veterans who have fallen, this year's Memorial Day ceremony is focused on the rolling 50-year anniversary of the Vietnam War and those who gave their lives in that conflict. Thank you for joining us, and let's begin the ceremony. The invocation will be presented by Mary Ann Arnold, Chaplain, American Legion Post 414, and Mercer County American Legion Council Committee. Mary Ann?
Almighty God, giver of all victories, we thank Thee for your opportunities which abide in our land, for your guidance in an hour of peril, your tender love in times of need. Help us to remember with reverence the valor and devotion of our departed comrades, not only those whose bodies consecrate our country's soil, but those who sleep beyond the seas, and those whose resting places will not be known until the last day, where the deep will have given up its dead. Oh God, teach us to honor them by cherishing the ideals for which they fought. Keep us steadfast in the cause of human rights and liberties, of law and order and true Americanism. Give the power to see and the will to do the right. Grant that the American Legion may preserve the high ideals for which our comrades died. May your merciful blessing rest upon those they left behind. Keep us forever firm in righteousness, humble of heart, and unselfish in purpose. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join Lawrence Township Scouts as they lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, ladies. Now please stand tall and proud and sing if you like, as the national anthem is performed by the Princeton University Band. Please be seated. Our first speaker is a familiar face to all of us, and I'm honored to introduce Mayor Christopher Bobbitt. Mayor.
Good morning. I'd like to first start by thanking Commander Tunnard for once again answering the call to guide us through today's program. Thank you to the Lawrence Township Scouts for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, the Princeton University Marching Band for playing the national anthem, and to the members of the American Legion Post 414 and the 112th Field Artillery Association. I look forward to hearing about this year's Memorial Day essay winners, the Lawrence Community Band playing the Armed Forces Salute, and the words of wisdom to be given by this year's Grand Marshal, Sergeant Frank Haggerty. For many, Memorial Day weekend is the start of summer, a time to clean off the grill, drive down the shore, or finish off those spring projects before the heat of the summer. A time to enjoy the freedoms and blessings that the United States of America provides us. As many of us gathered here today understand, the freedoms and blessings that we enjoy didn't just happen. Instead, much like the chores and preparations that must occur before we can enjoy the summer months, our freedom requires a commitment to protect our ideals by serving, fighting, and if necessary, dying to protect our country. Today is the day that we honor those that made this ultimate sacrifice for the ideals of our nation, as well as mourn together those who lost their friends and loved ones. It is no surprise that after the Civil War and the Union was preserved, that decoration days began to occur in the month of May throughout our country. The loss of human life at the Battle of Gettysburg alone was more than the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812 combined. Our forebears understood at a visceral level the high cost of freedom. Today we gather to remember and honor the sacrifices of those that perished to continue this incredible experiment that we call the United States of America. I call our country an incredible experiment because we are a nation founded on ideals. The main ideal is stated clearly in our Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Over the last 243 years, we have grown as a nation in our population, in our diversity, and in our influence because of what we as a nation stand for and our actions both at home and throughout the world. As I was looking for inspiration for my remarks this morning, I came across the cadet prayer said at the United States Military Academy, also known as West Point. I think it's a fitting reminder of the ideals that our brave men and women died for and a guide for the living to strive for. It reads in part, "Strengthen and increase our admiration for honest dealing and clean thinking, and suffer not our hatred of hypocrisy and pretense ever to diminish. Encourage us in our endeavor to live above the common level of life. Make us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. And never be content with a half-truth when the whole can be won. Endow us with the courage that is born of loyalty to all that is noble and worthy, that scorns to compromise with vice and injustice, and knows no fear when truth and right are in jeopardy. Guard us against flippancy and irreverence in the sacred things of life. Grant us new ties of friendship and new opportunities of service. Kindle our hearts in fellowship with those of cheerful countenance, and soften our hearts with sympathy for those who suffer in sorrow." Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Thank you to my colleagues on Township Council, the Township Manager, and the Township Clerk. I also have a special thanks to the Lawrence Township Patriotic Committee for their hard work and dedication to planning and organizing this event in partnership with the Lawrence Recreation Department. Thank you, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Township Patriotic Committee started a great tradition several years ago by asking middle school students to participate in an essay writing contest with the topic, "What does Memorial Day mean to me?" We are very pleased am proud to announce the winners of this year's essay contest. Girls, come on up. In second place is Tamara Tracy, and in first place, Bernadette Macaroni. Before we hear the first place winner, the second place winner, Tamara, will share a few remarks.
Hi, my name is Tamara. Today I am speaking on behalf of Lawrence Intermediate School, the principal, the staff, and the students at LIS. We want to thank the American Legion Post 414 for supporting our school. Each year, since 2013, the American Legion has generously donated for the Veterans Day and Memorial Day writing competition. Over the years, hundreds of students have researched and learned about these important national holidays. Then, students used that information to write an essay about the significance of the holiday. Lawrence Intermediate School would like to thank the American Legion Post 414 for supporting our students. Thank you.
Okay, I stand corrected. It's Lawrence Intermediate School. I apologize. Bernadette will now share her first place essay. Bernadette?
This Memorial Day, I Will, by Bernadette Macaroni. This Memorial Day, I will really take the time to respect and honor those who have died serving our country. One way I can do that is to think about their families and how they feel when their loved ones never come home. Sometimes, soldiers leave and their families expect them to return, but the ones that we honor on this day never do. I know how important my family is to me, and I can't even imagine losing them. So on Memorial Day, we should all take the time to appreciate our own families and think about those who have lost their own. At 3 p.m. every Memorial Day, we could spend 1 minute remembering the sacrifice the heroes of our country made by leaving their families to help them end the country they live in. Some ways we can appreciate our families are to spend time with them, consider their feelings, and not take them for granted. Every year, including this year, my family and I will honor those who have died by going to the Memorial Day Parade, celebrating soldiers at Veterans Park with many who have fought for our country, and listening to our national anthem. Each year we sing this anthem for it reminds us of those who have died and their families who will never see them again. Many of us don't think about the pledge we speak each morning, but just like the anthem on this day, it reminds me each day of those who have died. On this day, we also fly the flag at half-mast to remember fallen veterans and show that we respect and honor the heroes who died for us. Finally, on this day, I want to remember how the soldiers must feel when they leave. They leave knowing they may never return. They must feel scared in the moment they choose to leave and the moment of death, knowing they can never say I love you to their loved ones again. I believe that even thinking about these soldiers on Memorial Day can help us all to appreciate the people we do have and keep peace with them, because it is sad, but we know that some soldiers who are someone's family will never return. That is what I can do this Memorial Day.
Thank you, ladies. Those are fantastic. And as Tamara mentioned, each of these essay winners received a monetary award from the American Legion Post 414 for their work. Great job, kids. As this is a day to honor our fallen countrymen and women who died in service to our nation, it is also a day when veterans can take special pride in the branch of the service for which they served. To help us all experience that service pride is the Lawrence Community Band, led by Ronald Talarino, who will perform the Armed Forces Salute. We ask all present veterans stand proudly when they hear their service anthem played. United States Marine Corps. United States Air Force. United States Navy. Thank you to the Lawrence Community Band. It's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great privilege and honor to welcome our Grand Marshal and guest speaker today, Mr. Frank Haggerty. Frank has been a longtime Lawrence Township resident, a student from kindergarten through 12th grade education in Lawrence, and a proud graduate of the first graduating class of Lawrence High School in 1968. Frank enlisted in the United States Air Force shortly after high school graduation. During his 4 years of service, he was stationed in Texas, Mississippi, New Hampshire, Vietnam, and Virginia. He was honorably discharged at the rank of sergeant in 1972. Frank graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Commerce degree from Rider College in 1976. In 2000, he earned a Master of Arts degree with honors from Rider University. Frank's career encompassed 40 years in the financial and administration field. He retired from Rutgers University in 2015. He's the proud parent of his children Frank and his wife Jessica, his daughter Lauren and her fiance Josh, and son Stephen and his wife Sarita. Frank was a former coach in the Lawrence Little League and Lawrence Hammett Soccer League and a Cub Scout leader of Pac 27. Today, Frank and his wife Jean are enjoying their retirement, pursuing travel and hobbies, and they are currently living in the village of Lawrenceville. Please welcome Mr. Frank Haggerty.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank the Lawrence Township Patriotic Committee for inviting me to serve as this year's Grand Marshal of the Township's Memorial Day observance. And I thank everyone who came out today to participate in our celebration. Today is not a day of mourning, but a day of celebration in which we express our gratitude, respect, and pay homage to the heroic sacrifices of our fallen armed service members. This year, our country is celebrating its 153rd Memorial Day, which was originally designated Decoration Day in 1866 after the end of the Civil War. It was in 1967 that the day was renamed to Memorial Day. This year, we honor the 50th anniversary of Vietnam-era service members, and recently the 100th anniversary of the World War I armistice. Our country has a rich history of paying tribute to all of our armed service members, past and present. that defend our freedom, principles, and values. Today is to acknowledge and honor those men and women in uniform who paid the ultimate sacrifice defending our country. As President Abraham Lincoln eloquently stated, it is the job of the living to take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. Our nation's symbol of devotion is our flag, the stars and stripes of the United States of America, our flag. The flag we learn to pledge our allegiance to, salute as members of our armed services, defend our rights, and to honor our fallen. Senator John Thune, an American patriot and longtime champion of veterans' rights, aptly stated, "I believe our flag is more than just cloth and ink. It is a universally recognized symbol that stands for liberty and freedom. It is the history of our nation, and it's marked by the blood of those who died defending it." Since our nation was founded in 1776, over 1.1 million service members have given their lives in the defense of our flag. Our nation stands on the shoulders of these men and women. Their sacrifices have earned our independence, healed our fractured country, and defeated tyrannical regimes that enforced unthinkable tragedies against mankind and preserved liberty and freedom to countless populations around the world. These monumental achievements are woven into the fabric of our men and women in uniform. When called upon, they left their families and comforts of home to selflessly defend the tenets of democracy and to carry on the tradition of our forefathers who rose to their calling to defend and protect our great nation. On this day of solemn commemoration, we are thankful to our service members we have lost. We are indebted to them for all the rights we hold dear and for all the things that make America great. Because of their sacrifices, America stands as the universal exemplar of freedom and liberty. As a United States Air Force and Vietnam War veteran, I am grateful to be a member of an historic fraternity of men and women who share the traditions, honor, discipline, commitment, and dedication that is necessary to honorably serve our great nation. It is a privilege, and I am humbled to speak today on behalf of our soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen, especially on behalf of the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us. In closing, I would like to quote Dr. Martin Luther King's heartfelt remembrance. "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." God bless America, and God bless our fallen heroes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. Those were great remarks. We appreciate it. Now a brief musical interlude. And what better way to do that than with God Bless America. This year it will be performed by Angela Aguilar.
Please sing with me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains, through the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains, through the prairies, to the ocean, what with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so much, Angela. Each year at this time in our program, our veterans organizations pay special tribute to their fallen members. I would like to introduce Charles Brothers, Commander, American Legion Post 414, who will now read off the deceased members of that organization. Charles?
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out today. Our fallen members are Eleanor Chamberlain, Thomas Chazor, John Fitzhare, George H. Hollinger, James L. Manning, Richard Morgan, James R. Springer, Richard Waskowitz. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Now, Colonel Robert Watson, Commander of the 112th Field Artillery Association, will read the names of the deceased members of that organization. Colonel?
Chief Warrant Officer 4, United States Army retired, Robert L. Chamberlain, Sr. Colonel, United States Army retired, Herbert S. Holland, Jr. Chief Warrant Officer 4, United States Army retired, John Monroe. Sergeant, United States Army retired, John Osvey. Major, United States Army retired, Raymond Ramino. Major General, United States Army retired, Richard S. Schneider.
Thank you, Colonel. This now brings us to the solemn part of our ceremony. Mr. Haggerty and Mayor Bobbitt, followed by the commanders of the American Legion and 112th Field Artillery Association, will now lay a wreath at the monument honoring our fallen heroes. We are blessed to have such a beautiful park and Veterans Memorial here in Lawrence. Please rise and be still. Turn our attention to the memorial area. Members of the 112th Field Artillery Association will start with a salute, which will be followed by an Army firing detail. That will be followed by Lawrence Township police officers lowering the flag while taps is played by Seth Rivkin from Bugles Across America. At that conclusion, Amazing Grace will be performed by the Washington Memorial Pipe Band. Please begin.
Fire mission.
Firing detail. We will now start to conclude today's ceremony. Mary Ann Arnold, Chaplain, American Legion, Mercer County Committee, will now offer a benediction. Mary Ann?
Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, in your hands are the living and the dead. We give you thanks for all those, our comrades, who have laid down their lives in the service of our country. May they rest in peace, and may light perpetual shine upon them. May the good work of seeking justice for the oppressed and peace for all mankind be rewarded with success, and their sacrifices shall not have been in vain. And may we never fail to remember the awesome cost of the freedom we enjoy. All this we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Lawrence Township, the American Legion Post 414, the 112th Field Artillery Association, we would like to thank you for helping us celebrate this Memorial Day of 2019. Our ceremony has concluded. Please join your neighbors and friends with refreshments being served in the back of the park. Thank you and happy Memorial Day.